7:05, so you can't get much more even than this at the beginning. I'm looking forward to an exciting match, and I hope you are too. This is Brett Baker.
Please.
Bad Boys TV.
Take the whole thing and hit with mine before.
Think about it, right?
We're here now through Sunday. We've got singles action all day today. We've got singles all day tomorrow. Friday morning, women's singles final, and then we start teams on Friday. And we have teams throughout the weekend. This is the Northwest 9-Ball Championships. Beautiful Snoqualmie Casino, just outside of Seattle, Washington.
Yeah, we don't play till 10:30.
Oh, okay. All right, I'll go ahead and do the zero.
I'm gonna look back here, but
Join us on the chat. Go to our YouTube page.
What's that
Bad Boys Billiard
that
Productions.
is not new.
Click subscribe there, and we'll be notified whenever we go live. We were in Tucson, Arizona last week, doing the Arizona State 8-Ball Championships.
Probably let it hang on the back of the
We're
chair.
here in Washington this weekend, and we head off to Mecca of Old Derby City. We will be taping matches of Derby City that AccuStats cannot bring you. And after the tournament is over, we will put those up. We encourage you to please support AccuStats and all they do for pool and for live streaming. They are cream of the crop, the best there is in the live streaming. They bring you just great match after great match after great match. Support them, and then after the tournament, jump on our YouTube page and load up all those matches that you wished you could have saw. There's just too many good ones for them to pick every single one. So each round, they'll pick one, and then we'll go through and pick what we think is the best of the remaining.
I'll help you out for a few minutes.
Take a seat here for a few minutes.
Yeah, I don't want the 6 people watching right now to overwhelm you. Are they started?
No, they're just warming up. I think they're waiting till 10:30.
Did you give all the spiel, the speech?
Oh, I did.
Good, because I don't think I could get through without tongue tying. I'm too tired.
This is the last round of the night. Our 10:30 round. We'll start back up tomorrow.
I don't know about 9 a.m.
Probably closer to 10:30 a.m.
Yeah, probably the 10:30 round. We may kick off the 9, just might not do it with commentating. I don't know. A little thin in the morning. Everybody's going to try to catch up with some sleep, and then we'll try to have some normal shifts tomorrow. That last tournament kicked my butt, and then the drive on top of it.
A lot of our crew had a brutal trip to get here from Tucson.
Doesn't look that far away.
Yeah, but at 35 miles an hour on ice and whiteout conditions, it's
friggin' crazy for almost 900 miles.
Looks like we're ready to get started here.
Most interesting break shot ever.
Well, maybe not.
Paul Potier and Dan Louie.
Paul was racking those up, and he's breaking. So I guess we're not quite ready.
Yeah, he wants one more practice swing. And that is a good way to go. Yep, don't do it like that. Dan's getting a pencil and paper.
Got his score sheet.
Acts like he's been to a pool tournament before.
Yeah. Well, who says you can't train an old dog?
Really? Freeze. Welcome everybody to Bad Boys TV. Tell your friends. Pass it on, share. Whatever you do to get people to subscribe. We'll be doing a lot of streaming this year. We will be recording matches at Derby next week, streaming them the following week. We will be streaming Texas, April 3rd to the 9th, state tournament. There's like 1,000 players there. We will be streaming Oklahoma Black Gold the week, 2 weeks after that. And then the BCAPL Nationals. So a lot of good pool coming to you the next 4 or 5 months.
The whole year.
And when we do stream, it goes directly to either YouTube Q Sports International's page or YouTube Bad Boys Billiard Production page. For you guys that are watching right now, as it comes up, you can pause the video, go get your beer, and come back and catch up.
Never have to miss a shot.
I love that feature.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. But then you're not watching it live.
Well, you think you are. Should go back and look at some of the new videos that popped up on Q Sports International from the Arizona State tournament last week. Get a chance to track down the Scotch Doubles finals. That was
was a
probably one of the
phenomenal
best
match.
finals I've seen in Scotch Doubles ever.
It was a great, great match.
Yeah, the men's gold finals was pretty good. Silver finals was pretty good. Everything was pretty good.
Oh, yeah, we just had great match after great match.
We're at the Snoqualmie Casino, just outside of Seattle, Washington. Apparently, this casino has fallen in love with pool.
God help him.
Poor people. It's a disease and there's no cure. Once you're hooked,
That's right.
it's all over.
Nobody chatting it up with us today.
Well, there's only
Not yet.
5 people on there right now. Getting ready to get started here.
Yeah, they're all waiting until
This would be a
10:30.
really good match. Boy, Stan just played a great match.
Yeah,
He
played
made some nice
real solid.
run-outs.
Well, you couldn't get too much more even than on the Fargo. We got Paul is a 706 and Dan comes in at 705. So this should be a real treat for our
If they
viewers.
if they both play to their skill level, it should be a
We
tight
should
one.
be in for a
Steve Lingelbach is in the house.
singing away. You know he must be tired.
You don't want to be, several hundred miles from home and lose your keys and your coat.
Oh. No, you don't want to be I don't want to be home and
Two
lose.
sets of keys. And the opener to my truck. My truck's truck's still there, so nobody stole the truck. The only key that I can't replace is the one that's in my pocket because it's broken to the truck. So the only other thing that's pertinent is the lock that I have on my trailer.
Got to start retracing your steps now to find the coat and find those keys. Ah,
So as long as I can get the truck home, I don't care. I'll buy a new lock and I'll replace all the other keys.
What'd you do? Lock your keys in the truck?
no, his keys were in his coat pocket, and they're
And
both
coat's
gone.
missing?
I guess I gotta snap the locks.
All right, they flipped it up, and we're ready to go. Looks like Paul Potier's gonna break first.
As long as it doesn't pick up the music. You got to keep an eye on Brett. He gets a little excited sometimes. Who else is in the box? It's Brett Baker and Rick Jones.
Yep, this is Brett Baker.
Hopefully we're entertaining to you guys. If you're not, turn off the volume.
We're going to bring you pool, not ruin pool. So yeah, if we get irritating, just turn the volume down. It's a nice feature. But we hope you're having fun the way we are.
I'll be a little more live tomorrow. Just need 6 hours sleep.
Just need to get a little sleep.
Little zony. Are we doing all right there, Steven? You all right with our commentating?
I was gonna say, man, he's a
diehard.
diehard. He's been here every match tonight.
Shout out to Stephen Fair in the chat room.
Wishes he could be here.
Apparently he doesn't have Netflix.
A pool player, you can't afford Netflix.
Oh, dude, Bonnie was so mad.
Spend all
at
your
me.
money on entry fees and
Go on the road, be gone for 3 months, doing tournament after tournament, go home, and I'm watching pool on my computer, and she's like, what the heck is wrong with you?
Julie says the same thing. You just got home from Derby City, and now you're watching matches from Derby City. I said, hey, I don't get to see all this stuff.
This time you're really going to drive her nuts because we'll do Derby, and then our guy Jeremy Jones will put our streams up the week after, so you can watch we can go do Derby and then go home and watch even some of the matches that we come.
I like to go home and watch the straight pool runs.
We have to help Jeremy out though. He wants help with the commentary.
Paul broke dry in his first game, and Dan
kind of ended up on the wrong side of that too.
It's like
but
he caught the point there or something. Yeah, it was weird how that cue ball just went back to the rail. It's not where he wanted it. He wanted to be a little more out towards the middle of the table. But he has shot this shot many times in his life, so he'll fidget around for a little while, spin his cue, and eventually he'll fire it in.
Hey boy, look at watch his backhand. Huh? Hopefully you guys can see that on the stream, but he moves that hand around a lot. Yeah. Whoa.
Oh boy.
I would have bet if I could bet fast enough the way he stroked that, I could have told you he was missing. He cranked his arm around. And
but he does that, and he doesn't miss very often. So that brings Paul back to the table.
Yeah. Well, do you go 2-ball off the rail, make the 3 so you can get the 2-ball out of there?
I can't tell if the 2 will pass the 9 to shoot the combination.
I think if he does, it has to go rail first, or you won't leave yourself a shot. I don't think it goes straight into it.
Okay,
he's gonna go rail first safe, which is a smart move.
That was a smart move. I commentated a match earlier with him today, and I was trying to think, okay, what would he sit here and say,
Right.
I think that was definitely the right shot.
I like it.
I mean, Dan can hit this on
he can
rail.
hit it,
But it's just to contain him. You haven't sold out. You know, you're making him go rail first here.
Yeah. Yeah, Paul shot a great shot unless Dan gets out of it. Boy, he is really throwing his backhand around.
Okay, so he kind of did what he wanted to do. He got the 2-ball up table, kept the cue ball down at the bottom. And Paul's really got no good offensive shot here.
He can go off the 7 unless it clears. I don't know if it goes into that corner, but he kind of.
I don't think it
looking
does,
like,
but man, possibly it does. I don't know. It's really hard to tell on our
Yep,
monitor. Oh
it
man,
does.
it went right in.
Yeah, he had a window,
That was a nice
and
shot.
I think he got there.
Yep, he's on the 3. Very nice
good.
shot.
That was a good shot.
Very nice shot.
Danny was really unfortunate that he had that little window there, but
Well,
it's where the smart safety on the first shot by Paul paid off.
yep, it was the safety that got him to where he is right now.
Oh, well, thanks, Steven. Hopefully our spectators do learn from our commentating. We're not always right, but we try to be informative. Just drift forward. Just drift forward to the rail and then off the rail a little bit. I think he has the perfect angle. It's easier to drift to the rail and back off than it is to try to hold the cue ball and not hit the rail.
Let the cue ball do what it wants
Natural
to do
momentum
naturally.
is always more
Yeah.
controllable.
And my coach used to say, you draw for show, but you follow for dough. Ooh. Wow, that is very uncharacteristic. He just kind of took his eye off of it, I guess.
Yeah, he kind of lifted his head, I think, and concentrated more on the shape than the shot.
Really very uncharacteristic
Wow,
of him.
look at the delay on the. We're watching the YouTube channel at the same time, which is kind of nice for us because we can look at the replay.
So Dan's going to kick to the side rail at this 7. He probably would like to come off the top rail too, and because he doesn't want to follow this 7 in.
So,
Wow,
we missed
he
it.
missed the entire thing.
So, is Dan from the Seattle area?
He is. He is.
I thought so.
He's lived here for many, many years. And Paul is from British Columbia. Our last match, Canada defeated the United States. So in this match, we All right, so even though Paul made a very uncharacteristic mistake, he's able to secure game number 1. He will rack the balls for Dan now. Boy, this room has been full all day.
Yeah.
Players, we got people up on the upper stage watching. Got a lot of spectators today too. I don't know if it doesn't look to me like they're just players, you know. It's
Yeah, no, I was walking through earlier and it looked like, well, nobody was recognizable for me, so. Yeah, I think we got some spectators in the room that are just here to check it out.
That's awesome. That's what pool needs. Can't support pool with just the players. Is Bonnie going to join us in the booth here?
No, she's gonna give me the look and go, let's
She's
go
going to yank
sleep.
you out of the booth here. She's tired. Well, Dan broke the balls, but didn't get one to go. So he's waiting for Paul, who's over here talking to Carissa.
Yeah, the biggest problem here is making the one and getting shape on the two, which shouldn't be too tough. Looks like it's a thin cut on the one, so cue ball should end up about where the 5 ball is.
Oh, he was asking Carissa if he could wear earplugs.
Why?
I'm not sure. She must have told him yes, because he put them in.
Well, that can create a problem if he can't hear his opponent. Of course, now, I'm pretty sure I just saw a commercial on earbuds that, wireless earbuds.
Yeah, they have.
So you got to be careful. Somebody's going to get those and have their friends sit up in the stands and tell them what to shoot.
Heck with that. We've heard of people having the stream on and listening to the commentators.
Yeah, I'm not sure how you stop that.
Supposedly that happened in a big gambling match a while back.
One of the players had a friend. Or no, they were doing it with earbuds. See, there's your problem.
This was his headphones. Everybody just assumed he was listening to music, but he was listening to the stream.
Yep, he had the stream on his phone, and he was listening to a very, very good pool player commentating, and he would just stall and wait until he heard what he wanted to shoot, and that's what he'd do. All right, Brett, I think I'm going to bail on you.
All right, well, it was fun.
Don't forget to run a few commercials at the end and then shut her down.
We will have a good time in this final match of the night.
Pack up some stuff in the tools, but this should be a good match, so have fun.
All right. And
we'll see you tomorrow sometime, whenever you feel like it.
You kids get some rest.
Yeah, 8 o'clock in the morning's coming quick.
Rick Jones is signing off.
Okay, so that laptop and that laptop.
They had a brutal trip from Tucson to here driving. He said from Wells, Nevada, all the way to about 20 miles outside of Snoqualmie here was just a blizzard, whiteout, sheet of ice. I know their cars look pretty funny this morning. Their fronts and backs were just totally covered with ice. Alright, Dan's got a nice angle on his 3 to break out the 4-9. Guess he chose not to break him out. I guess the 4-9 must go.
Side story of Star Wars, the Han Solo. The Han Solo movie. God, you tell me I'm done. So hungry I can eat food.
Dan's going to take a look at this. He's got a good. There's obviously a gap in there, so he can cut this 4 into the 9. And he does it nicely. And ties up the match at 1 apiece. So race to 9. Should be a close one.
The refs have been doing okay with that one.
They need walkie-talkies.
But I do have some. Can't get some charge for them.
All right, folks in the chat room. Need to know, can you hear me okay?
Okay, yeah, we just want to make sure we kind of got it hidden a little bit.
I can hide it under the table.
Man, don't let Brett forget it.
How's this? Can you hear me better now? Somebody says, oh, Steven says barely. Well, let's see here. We've had some technical difficulties with the sound today. Sounds like the room is picking you up. Aha, much better. Alrighty, good. I think what happened was the match before they got the headset switched around, and so when I turned Rick's headset off, it actually was turned mine off, and so his was sitting on the table on. That's why I sounded pretty muffled. So should have it all fixed now. Hopefully you can hear me much clearer. Good, good, good. I'm getting... Meanwhile, Paul's... Well, he got pretty straight on the 3, so he just had to take this long cut on the 5. Wasn't really able to do much with the cue ball. Oh, and he caught the point. So that's going to bring Dan to the table. Well, Dan's just going to probably shoot this 6, and maybe I would just stop it pretty much right where it is. And have a nice angle to go from the 7 up to the 8. That's exactly what he did. He just stopped it. Now he wants to make sure he leaves a nice angle to get back down for the 9. This is a good little drill here. Practice going up table and back. Okay, big bounce. He's left himself pretty straight. This is not where he wanted to be. Now he's going to have to come with he's going to have to hit this pretty hard and try to spin that cue ball down off the side rail. He needs to try to get down below the side pocket. Wow. How did he hit that? That was a great shot. He was pretty straight on that. He loaded it up and spun it down there. And it gives him a 2-1 lead. Yeah, we should almost mark our headsets with a 1 and a 2 on it, so we. I never really thought about getting them mixed up. Well, glad you guys let me know and we got that figured out. Wish we could pan around the room. There is quite a crowd here watching this match. Kind of sitting in front of the tournament desk and along the wall. This match is attracting some interest. It's pretty early in the event for these two guys. I think this is probably their second or third round match. And it's a match you usually count on seeing much later in the tournament. And we could see again. Well, Dan doesn't have much of a shot on his 2, so he's going to play safe. He'll hit it thin and probably try to put the cue ball behind the 3. Okay, he decided to go all the way down table. He wanted to get behind that 4, but he ran into the 4, so Paul's going to have a long cut on this 2 ball. But if he makes it, he should be in pretty good shape. Oh, okay, he saw the 9 sitting down there, so he banked it too. That was a huge ball. It's funny, he didn't take much time looking at that one. He stepped up, saw it, and fired it. All right, 2-2. Danny's wrecking the balls, which means Paul will have the break in game number 5. Yeah, it's really something to watch Dan Louie's back arm and hand action. He's full of motion back there, but boy, when he brings that cue forward, it's so smooth and so straight. All right, so Paul's can see part of the 1. I don't know. It's hard to tell on the monitor just how much of this 1 ball he can see. And he could see enough that he decided to play safe, and he's done a real nice job of that. He's left Dan hid behind the 2 ball with no real easy kick. That 8's kind of in the way for going across table, but he's going to try to spin it past that 8 over to contact the 1. And he's going to let the gentleman on table 2 play his shot. All right, here we go. Oh man, he spun it a little bit too much and just missed the 1. So that's going to give Paul ball in hand. All right, looks like Paul's going to play a carom off the 1 into this 2. And he did nicely. He hasn't got a real easy shot on the 1, but if he chooses to, he could cut that all the way down, spin 2 rails out of the corner, and play the 3 in the corner where the cue ball and 1 ball are sitting now. But he's looking over his options. Both of these guys are fairly deliberate players. They're not what I would call rhythm players. They like to look over all their options, make the very best decision they can. And it's really hard to argue with their results. These guys are both winners. They've won a lot. He's just really not sure whether he wants to go offense or defense here. He's been kind of looking at the defensive shot and putting the cue ball behind the 3. And he'd like to put that 1 ball down behind the 5 and then 9. He keeps putting his cue up there where he'd like to put the cue ball. He'd like it right about there. With that 1 ball tucked behind the 5 and the 9, Dan will have nothing. Oh, look at this. He's going to make the 7. Wow. Oops. Well, it's a good thing he didn't play the safety he was trying to, because if he had got that cue ball where he was trying to, he'd be in jail right now. Maybe that's what was taking him so long. He was afraid of running into the 7. I know he turned around and said something to Dan. He's got a tough little cut there. He hit a little too thin. He's missed the cut, but now he got the cue ball and the 1 ball where he wanted to begin with. So he couldn't do it on purpose, but he was able to do it by accident. Dan's looking at where he wants to come off that second rail. Wants to come 2 rails, nip that 9, and bring the cue ball back up table. Man, and he just barely misses it again. I believe that puts Dan on 2 fouls. He's had 2 tough kicks at that 1, and both of them he's just barely missed. So we'll see if Paul decides to play an offensive shot or whether he wants to try to 3 foul Dan here. I think he's decided to go ahead and make this ball. It's pretty tough to 3-foul players of this caliber. Man, you've got to almost freeze them to a ball or something. And he did not want that cue ball sitting on the rail. But I think he's still all right. He can shoot this in. Wow. Nicely done. Avoided that 9-ball nicely. Now he's just got to stay in line. He's got everything just out there for him. He's got a nice angle on the 5. He'll come 2 rails again for the 8. And he's perfect. Now it's just a matter of preference. He'll probably just come 1 rail out for the 9. Or, okay, he just stopped it right there. He's going to play the 9 in the side. Nicely done. Paul Potier surges to a 3-2 lead. This race to 9. Yeah, that's something our viewers can watch. BCAPL referee says that, he liked how Paul, it was close and he didn't just, he asked before he picked up ball in hand. Even if you're sure that your opponent has fouled, always make sure before you pick up that cue ball that you both agree. Because once you pick it up, man, if for some reason he fuzzed that ball or something, now you have fouled. So even if it seems obvious to you, always verify that with your opponent. Wow, what a great break. Dan just parked that cue ball right in the center of the table. He has made a ball, but he's got the 1 ball up on the top rail with no real offensive shot. That was a great lesson in squatting your cue ball, though. That thing jumped back and just sat right there where it is. All right, so Dan has played safe. He's left the cue ball behind the 7, put the 1 ball down table, and Paul is reaching for his jump cue. Well, can he see the 3? I believe he can see the edge of it. I don't know. He can see enough of it to cut it in. What's going on in chat? Let's see. Good sportsmanship, good shot. Yeah, he may have been. All right. It's a pretty good shot there. I mean, he's left Dan a bank, but from where he was, there wasn't a whole lot. There was not an easy safety there. So, isn't really sold out. Dan will have to try to bank this 3 right back at the side where he's standing and go between the 6 and the 9. Come around for shape on the 4. So Cuba will probably be headed towards the 4. Wow. I wonder if he was. No, he wasn't playing it. He looked at it. He looked over at Paul and just kind of shrugged his shoulders. He wasn't playing that carom on the 9, but he will certainly take it.
Lemonade?
I'm good. So we're all tied 3-3. You can tell these guys have played many times before. They're kind of talking at the table. No, I don't believe Paul was smacking his cue on the ground. Neither one of these guys really show their emotions much.
So, is Kristen literally hanging out with him too? She likes her Niners, but she doesn't like Happy anymore after that crap at the beginning of the year.
All right, balls are racked up. Here we go. Paul's going to walk down and take a look. And doesn't like. All right. Apparently, the 1 was not quite froze to the 6, so he just moved it back with his finger. Dan was good with that. Wow, nice break. Cue ball center of the table. 1 sitting in front of the corner pocket. Just wants to make sure he gets over. Okay, nicely. Between the 3 and the 8 to get on the 2. And he's drawing that over nicely to avoid running into anything. Not sure if the 6 from the monitor, it's hard to see if the 6 goes anywhere, but he doesn't seem to be too concerned with it, so it must go in the side. If it does, he'll shoot this 4, just kind of go around the 9. And he's walking over to see just where he wants to get. So yeah, the 6 does go in the side past the 8. And he just barely got kind of looked over at Dan. Now I believe he may have a little bit of an angle not helping him come down for this 7, but he shouldn't be a big deal. He go to the side rail, yeah, and back over. Got a nice kiss off the 8 to make this shot even a little easier. Wow. Wow. Got that in. How in the world did... I mean, that's the only place he could put the cue ball on the table where he wouldn't have a shot. And that's about as much anger as you'll ever see out of Paul. He slammed the chalk down. He's pretty disgusted with himself right now. I mean, that's... He absolutely let the cue ball get away from him. Well, he's going to go side rail, and he's hoping to kick this 8 into the side. He's got to put that shot out of his mind and put 100% focus into this one. Okay, so he sent the 8 up table, which in turn kept the cue ball down at the bottom. So he hasn't left a real easy shot for Dan, but you know, he's supposed to be marking up a game already. Really disgusted with himself. Dan will cut this in the corner pocket. Very nicely done. Cue ball coming around. He wants to whoa. He's fine. And there we go, in a game where it just looked like Paul was a sure thing to go up 4-3. Instead, it's Dan that takes the lead. And it'll be his break now. So, Paul's still pretty frustrated with himself. He'll have to put that game out of his memory and get himself restarted. Dan goes down, takes a look. Never hurts if you're playing opponent rack, you know, to go down there and just look things over. Okay, Dan. Dan hit him good, but nothing went. Broke him dry. Nine made that a much easier shot. He was able to actually go rail off the 9 and make it. Now he will draw this to the side and back out. Oh, man, he rattled that ball. So things are just not going well for Paul Potier right now. Kind of slumps down in his chair. Hasn't left Dan anything real easy, though. I think he's going to have to kind of spin this around the 5. Man, he does that nicely. So he's got a cut on this 3 ball. We'll see how he chooses to play shape on the 4. He's got quite a bit of angle, so I think he can draw to the side rail and back out, though. We'll see. Looks like that's what he's attempting. Okay, he just kind of punched it over there, and he's missed it. It just didn't look very comfortable on that shot. Well, Paul's looking good here. He's got a nice shot on the 4. He's got a good angle to go down to get the 5 and the 6. Gotta try to keep these guys from leaning on my... Shaking the camera. We're not having an earthquake here. It's actually one of the casino security guards. They're having a... Whoa. Can't seem to get his attention here. Excuse me, sir. Can you not? You're shaking. Yeah. Looks like there's a earthquake going on. No problem. Thank you. All right, got his attention there. The earthquake is. We've survived. Meanwhile, it may have looked like Paul was playing a little shaky, but he seems to have settled things down. He's nicely on this 7. He'll roll forward. He leaves himself a nice angle on the 8. So he's kind of back in his comfort zone now. He's made a nice out. Put the mistake of the last rack behind him and ties up the score at 4-4. Yeah, it's true in this part of Washington. Any earthquakes would probably be caused by a volcanic eruption. They were talking in the chat room about our shaky camera. Yeah, both of these guys are mentally really strong. So even though things are kind of going against them, there's no quitting these guys. I think Paul has put that one game behind him, and he's back in a. Oh man, he hung that one ball. But yeah, he put that mistake behind him. You know, he's fine now.
Otherwise, we'll see you tomorrow. Right? How are you?
So Dan's got a nice easy shot on this one. He's just going to want to pull it out towards the middle of the table. Perfect. So he's on the 2. And I'm thinking he's going to bump this 6 over. Paul wants to take a look at it to see if maybe they need a referee to watch this. And they've decided it's fine. All right, he played, I guess, maybe he played the 6 into the. I think he was playing the 2 and missed the 2 but got the 6 in, and that's 9 ball. Okay. Everything's pretty out in the open now. He's just got to make this 2 ball and get on the 3. He'll draw it straight over to the rail. And he's wobbled the 2. Man, both. We've seen that happen a couple times in that pocket where Dan has missed 2 or 3 balls, kind of. Now he's shaking his head. Meanwhile, looks like Paul's going to put on a glove. Yeah. BCAPL referee says that our camera shaking could have been a Seahawks game. Yeah, they get pretty rowdy in that stadium. I'm sure cameras would shake up there. It'll be pretty quiet there this weekend, though, because they got to travel across the country and go to Atlanta. All right, so Paul's looking at what he wants to do with this 2 ball. I got a feeling he'll bank it in the corner next to the 4. Send the cue ball around that 8. Try to get on that 3 ball, but he's got some traffic, so he's got to be careful here. And he's giving it all the attention it deserves. right, he's decided to bank it to the side. Ooh, just caught the point. That took a lot of traffic out of the equation there, but it hit the point. He's missed it. I don't know. From our monitor, this looks like it could be kind of a tough shot. Yeah, Dan's not taking too much time. Kind of looks like that two is on the bottom side of the side pocket, so he's almost got to cut it back. All right, that was nicely done. Bumps the three down. He's got shape. I think he's looking good here. He's kind of looking, yeah, he's fine. He'll follow two rails out of the corner for the four. Just like that. Now he's going to look at how he wants to get on this five ball. Looks like he's going to play shape for the carom off the five and play the seven in that corner. All right, he's kind of over the seven ball, but he can still draw this ball. What a beautiful shot. He overdid it a little bit, though. Now he's kind of funny on this five, so he's not going to be able to play the carom. I think he can still play the combination, though. And he's elected to just play safe. And it looks like he's looking. And I couldn't read his face. He's not real happy, so I think Paul's going to be able to. I don't know. Neither one of them look very happy right now. Well, he froze him up on that seven, so Paul really doesn't have. I think he's going to have to go rail first to get this five. Dan wanted him to have to kick all the way up to the top rail, though. And he's looking for some air in between those balls. Wow. He says, I gave it a shot. He sure did, man. He almost gave it a shot with a 9 right in the hole. All right, so he gave it a heck of a shot, but Dan's going to have this 5, and then he's going to have the, ooh, ouch. How in the world? I think he might have miscued. Yeah, he did. Dan miscued. Now he's hooked. He's going to have to come over and get his jump cue out. Play the 7-9. Holy smokes. Just very uncharacteristic, some of the shots we're seeing from these two guys. Just about the time you think, all right, he's got this game, and then something crazy happens. So here we go. Dan's going to shoot this jump. Interesting looking jump cue he's got here. Well, and the cue ball ends up on the floor. That's never good. Paul goes over and picks it up. Was not a good effort. So Paul's got the 7 in the side, 8 up in the corner, tap the 9 in. They both are going to feel like they should have had this game. This will give Paul a 5-4 lead and a race to 9. And Dan's scuffing his tip. He can't believe he miscued there. Yeah, that's funny. Stephen Fair, I was just thinking, yeah, if he was using Kamui Chuck, he wouldn't have miscued. Somebody's... All right, so Dan breaks from the side rail this time, and he has come up dry again. But he hasn't left much. 8 balls blocking the cue ball from getting in on the 1, so... Miss Jessica Orth is in the room. She's coming back to say hi. Maybe I can talk her into sitting down and commentating with me. No, she says no. It's good to see you, my friend. We've got Dan Louie and Paul Potier in a race to 9. 5-4 Paul right now. So it's a good one.
What round? Round 1, 2, 3? Probably 3.
Well, that's Rick Donner. Hi from Indianapolis.
Hey kiddo, how's my baby doing?
That little baby's growing, I tell you. I'm going to stop by there after Derby and visit them for a little bit. Get to see that baby for the first time.
Oh, I know, right? He's getting big. Oh. No more pictures, Dad.
Well, Paul really has no real shot on this one. He may be looking at where he wants to push out to. I kind of like pushing out right up, put it right on the 5. We'll see, though. Yeah, he miscued. Miscued, nugged himself. Steve Lingelbach came up and was like, how in the world did Danny not get out when Paul missed? And I said he miscued. And he's looking at pushing out.
I will. Tell him I will. I will. I should, huh? I don't know why.
Yeah. All right, here he goes. He's going to push out. Sooner or later, he's going to keep looking and looking and looking, and then he's going to push out.
Is the 175. I want to come over and say hi to you.
Well, thank you. It was good to see you.
I'm a babysitter, so they let me out.
Nice, nice. Babysitters are good.
Tell Rick I will. I will friend request her.
All righty.
I thought I did. Maybe. I don't know.
All right, so Paul has decided to push out. Okay, so he pushed it up against the 3.
Try and tie the 3 up.
I think he was hoping that 3 would. Maybe tie up with the 6. He didn't quite get there, but now Dan's looking to see, does he want this or does he want to give it back to Paul? You pretty much have to come in rail first on that 1, I believe. It's like you want to shoot, but is it really the right thing to do? Even if he makes this 1, the 2, he's not really. Of course, the 9 sitting there too. I don't know if there's a carom on the 2-9. If the carom on the 2-9 is laying good, then I would want to shoot this 1 even more. But if it's not, then I think I'd pass this 1 back to Paul. And he has passed it back. Paul elected to kick at it. And, okay, so Dan has been rewarded with the shot. I think that was really the smart thing. Give it back. It was tough. And I just didn't see a huge payoff by shooting it. So by passing it back, he's got a much better shot now. He needs to pocket this 1 and just get it out from behind the 3. So he's got a shot at the 2. Just come side railing out. I think he'd like to be about center table. He's kind of jacked up, so it makes his shot a little tougher. Oh, man, he missed the 1 and went all the way across table and scratched. Well, this has not been the cleanest match by these two. Paul's putting the cue ball down, looking at where he wants to get on that 2. He can either play shape on the 2 or he can go into them and break them open. He's got the 1 sitting right there. All right, so he chose to go into him and break him apart. The 9 rolled off over towards the 4, but he's really not left himself much with the 2. Kind of hit it too square on. I think he wanted to just kind of brush that 2 and get the cue ball to go by so he'd have a little better shot, but he hit it dead on the nose, and that kind of messed him up on getting a shot on the 2. Now he's going to be forced to look at thinning this, and he's got a wall of balls he can get it behind. Well, I don't know if he was playing that 9, but he did bump the 9 towards the hole. And 2 ball has rolled up, and I believe Dan may have a shot. Wow, this is just unbelievable by these guys. The mistakes that we are seeing. I believe Dan is on 2 now, and both of them are on. He missed the 1 and scratched, and now he's missed the 2 and scratched. This is just not the match we were hoping to see. These guys are really struggling.
Yeah. Not necessarily. So I'm paying at least the top 16 places, so you may be there.
Okay.
And okay. Yeah, look at where you're at on the bracket. I haven't done the payouts yet because it's been really busy today. Will you be able to come back tomorrow?
Yeah. If I don't like
Okay, so Paul's got the 3 in a side, and now he's left himself a pretty good shot on this 4-9 combination. So this is going to give him a 6-4 lead, and he handles that nicely.
We'll start at 7 a.m. Yes, runs on the hour at the Hilton.
All right, so Paul Potier takes a 6-4 lead in this race to 9. He needs 3 more games to win this match, where Dan needs 5. And Paul has taken a little time out here, took his cup to go get some water. So we're in a little timeout here. I'm going to play. You should really think about joining the Bad Boys Club if you're not already a member. Yeah, if you haven't joined the Bad Boys Club, you should get on that. $25 for a year. Put you in at least 12 drawings. Just because you win one month does not mean you can't win every month. And for every person that you get to sign up and they put your name as the person who referred them, you get an extra ticket into the drawing for the diamond pool table. And I know Paul Sapp is out there listening. He was the winner on Christmas Eve of the diamond pool table. Paul signed up as an entire league, as a league operator up in British Columbia, up in Penticton. Signed up his entire league and had 91 entries into the drawing. So it increased his chances, and Paul, the great guy that he is and a great league operator, has decided that he is going to draw from all the members of his league, and one of them is going to get that diamond pool table. So good on you, Paul. He just texted me and said Paul's app is a happy camper. I think him passing that on to one of his league players is just a pretty awesome thing. So there you go, people. Get everybody in your league to sign up. Have them put your name as the person who referred them. And you could win a diamond pool table. It increases your odds. We give away Bad Boys bridges, DigiQs, OBQs, Cyclop balls. We give away all kinds of stuff. So, you know, I always see people buying $10 or $20 raffle tickets at a pool tournament for a queue. Man, for $25, you're in every drawing we do throughout the year. And we do at least one a month. Well, Paul should be getting back here. Here he comes with his cup of water. You got to walk out to the casino to get a cup of water. They don't have water in the room here, so players have to kind of go for a little walk. But he's back and we're ready to go. 6-4, he has the break. So Dan's racking these balls up. Paul seems to be happy with the rack. You know, in 10 games, we really, as players of this level, we have not seen the break and runs that you would think that you would see. There goes the 9. Straight in the corner pocket. And Paul doesn't even realize, I think, that he's made it yet. He's looking around. I don't think either one of them noticed that the 9 went in. Look, he's looking at the 1 ball. He's looking at how he wants to get on this 2. And Dan just informs him, hey, you made the 9. He was so focused, he didn't even notice that he had made the 9 on the break. So that gives him a 7-4 lead. And it'll be Dan's turn to break. All right, good night, Mr. Donner. Guess it's a little late over back on the East Coast time. It's approaching 3 a.m. in the morning there, so yeah. Yeah, they're discussing how the 9 ball went. It went straight in the corner. So Dan's breaking from the same spot. And he gets a ball. And he's got a nice shot on the 1 ball here in the side. Could be looking at a short rack here too. He's got the 1, get down on the 2. The 3-9 lays good if he decides he wants to play that, or he may just come up and play the 3 in the corner. Yeah, he's just going to play for the run out here. He played shape on the 3 in the corner. He can just roll forward a little bit. He's got the 5 on the side. The 6 is right there. 7, 8, 9. The chances of Dan running these balls out is probably higher than shooting the combo. Well, he fired that one in that pocket that time. That pocket has been the one that's been giving him some troubles. Got a nice angle on the 8 to just stun it down for the 9. Yeah, okay, he used the rails. And right after saying that we really hadn't seen too many break and runs, we see a 9-ball break and a break and run. We just took these guys a little bit to get going here. So Dan slides one more bead to his side and makes the score 7-5. Well, matches are starting to finish. I see fewer and fewer people as I look around the room. We've still got a good, I'd say, dozen people watching this match.
Okay, someone accidentally looked like they dropped their wallet into someone else's bag, and that person turned it into me, and rather than go through it, I turned it into security, and it said lost and found. So if you find your wallet missing, check with the casino's lost and found.
All right, so Paul's ready to break now. And it's a nice break. He's got shape on the 1, just roll forward for the 2. He pocketed the 3 on the break. So right now he's looking at how do I want to get on this 2 to get from the 2 to the 4. If he gets good on the 4, and he's good to go.
Hold down the fort. We don't need lube.
Okay, he's good on the 2. Now he's just got to get down there on the. Here you go. Yeah, get that chalk off there. I think he's got there.
Yeah, well, you know, I'm not running a computer program. And I know you are awesome. Sean, how you doing? Yeah? You having a good time? You playing well? All that good stuff? Yeah? How's the baby? Yeah? Getting big, I know, day by day. Wow. Yes, and I turned it into casino security. So it's at the lost account. I didn't want to dig through it to see whose it was. So I just turned it in.
Well, Paul should be able to just shoot the 6 in and draw over to the rail. He's got a little more angle than he'd like, but I think he's going to be okay. He just wants to be careful he doesn't run into that 9 and scratch. Luke Thomas just walked by. Wow, that was nice. He shot that 6, went around the 9, came around. He's not right where he wanted to be on the 7, but he's fine. He can shoot this 7 up here in the top left corner, play the 8 in the same corner. Well, he's looking like he's going to cut this 7 back. I don't know. Yeah, he's looking at it. Maybe that side pocket just comes into play if he plays it the other direction. Sure, a lot. Oh, he's. Woo. Okay, looked like he undercut that, but he got it to go in. Now he's right on the rail, and he's a little bit straight, so didn't quite get where he wanted to be.
You don't have it memorized?
I know, right?
Huh?
The nerve.
You should really put us at 10:30. It's on 9 o'clock. I'm an old guy.
Well, maybe you are at 10:30. I don't know. The
No,
board
no.
goes the way it goes.
9 o'clock.
All right, so Paul now takes a 8-5 lead. He's on the hill. Dan's going to need 4 games in a row if he's going to come back and win this match.
Because my dad has one at the house. And it always smells like it. I'm like, just need to hit off of it. But it got to the point where I was like, you know what, I might want to get my own fate.
All right, so Dan's going to walk down, take a little look. and be ready to break the balls.
Kept pace with each other. Oh.
Paul's on the hill.
All right, he got a ball down. He's got shape on the one, and all he's got to do is roll forward, and he's got a nice, easy 2-9. So this is exactly what Dan Louie needed. His opponent's on the hill. He needs something easy. Okay, he's handled that nicely. Now he just needs to make sure he pockets this 2-9 combination. And then he's going to need a little luck on Paul's break. First thing he's got to do, though, is make sure that he pockets this 9 ball. Which he does nicely. That was a nice quick game. Closes the gap to 8-6. Now he's got to fade Paul's break. He just needs to come up with a shot somehow. So he'll need a little luck. Once your opponent gets on the hill, things are kind of out of your control, especially in an alternating break situation. Chris Alderman from Arizona, where were you last week when we were down there? I was hoping we'd see you. Hey, since you can't be here, we're bringing it to you. Give you the full suffer of how you wish you could be here. All right, so Paul's happy with the rack. He's hoping this is his last break of the match. And Dan got what he needed. This is a great break, but nothing went. And Dan's going to have a shot at the 1, 2 sitting right by the side, 3, 4, and 5-9 looks like it's on. So this is exactly what Dan needed to get back in this. He just needs to take care and make sure that he gets through this. Boy, Paul hit that break so good. He got a little unlucky that nothing went in. Okay, so Dan's made the 1. He's perfect on the 2. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. He's hit this a little hard. He's going to be okay, though. Oh, boy. He came off that 3 a little strong. Looked like he was going to be hooked behind the 8, but he is okay. Now it's up to him whether he wants to stun it down for the 5-9 combination, which is what he's looking at now, or does he play shape for the 9 in the far corner? Looks like that combination is laying pretty good. And he's decided to play shape for the combo. He's lining it up.
Well, no, when I barbecue, but he definitely
He just wants to make sure that he puts a good stroke on this and pockets at 9. And he does. Oh, don't. Oh, my goodness. He got that kiss on the 7. It's like, no, don't do that. We don't need any funny little scratch there. All right, so Dan Louie closes the score to 8-7, and now it's his break. If we go hill, Paul Potier will have the all-important break in the final game. So Dan faded 1 break by Paul. Now he's got to take care of his break and fade 1 more. Okay, so the balls are racked. Dan's going to go down, take a look at him. You know, it's not that these two guys don't trust each other, but you just don't want to leave anything to chance. Something could have rolled off after they picked the rack up or anything. So you just want to go down and just take a look.
he wouldn't be able to play in the low two. No, I haven't played him yet.
Well, Dan hit that break good. But he's got this 1 stuck up on the top rail, so it's not really the shot he wanted on the 1 when you're trying to make this a hill match. He could bank this into the 5, but the 5's kind of a little ways away from the corner. Got a feeling he's probably going to have to play safe here. He just really wanted to see another road map out like he had the last couple of breaks. Well, let's see what he's going to do here. Okay. Ooh. All right, he's tied the 1 up with the 8. I don't know. Paul might be. I don't know if he can play this one off the 8 or not. Dan played as good a safety as he could from where he was. It was a tough safety. He got the cue ball down on the bottom rail. I think Paul can cut this 1 in. If he does, this rack really looks pretty open. Okay, he's got that. And, yeah, I just don't see a lot of trouble here. He's got the 2. He'll come around the 6 for the 3. Nicely done. It's up to him whether he wants to play that 4 in the corner or play it in the side. He's looking at it. Well, he kind of got a little funny on this 4. He was going to play it in the corner. I can't tell how far below this the side pocket. He must have some rail there to work with. He doesn't seem too concerned. Well, now a little bit of, oh, spectator was walking in, and you know, that's a good lesson to learn there. Broke his concentration, so this is a shot that needs all of it. He's on the hill. Reload, restart. All right, nicely done. Don't let something like that bother you and complain about it later. Just stop, reload, start over. Okay, pockets the 5, comes around 3 rails for the 6. He's looking good. He's just not taking anything for granted here. He's going to shoot this 6, draw back for the 8, the 9. This match is history, and well, he didn't really want to get right on the rail, but he's still okay. He's just got to roll this 8 ball in. He's fine. Well, this has turned out to be the close match we were looking for. It's just not quite the way we thought it would be. Both players made some mistakes, some uncharacteristic things, some funny rolls, but well, Paul's just kind of fidgeting over this. I'm not sure. He's played this shot hundreds of times. And there you go, folks. Paul Potier wins 9-7. Well, thanks everybody for joining us. Hope you enjoyed it. That'll do it for our broadcast this evening. Actually, it's morning now. We'll be back tomorrow. Not sure if we'll have a 9 a.m. Pacific time match. It's possible that we may have one without commentary while things are getting going, but I would say by 10:30 for sure. Rick has trouble getting going first thing in the morning, and our crew is kind of catching up on some sleep. So thanks a lot for joining us. Come back tomorrow. Join us again. We've got singles action tomorrow. We'll have some more good matches. I believe the men's finals are scheduled for tomorrow evening. So you'll want to see that. That'll be some good pool. Thanks a lot, everybody. Take care. Be safe.